Sorry about that break. Welcome back. Energy is never supposed to stand still. Yet there's a lot of us that stay in the same circles of doing shit. What reward are you expecting out of life if you're going to keep doing the same shit over and over and over again, especially if it is not progressive? You're actively watching life pass you by being passive in yourself but active in bullshit. Sometimes you gotta break yourself away from everything else. Learn to be by yourself and know what the core you want. Everybody has a gut feeling for a reason. Everybody has that first mind for a reason. And the less we choose to allow ourselves to rely on our instincts, our own individual instincts, and allow others to think for us, to do for us, to act for us in our stead, if you will, the less it control your higher self. The person God wanted you to be has control over your life. Because think about this. And this is something that got me. And I'm not sure if I said this before in a video or not. But as of right now, our future selves are looking back on our current selves as memories. Would you be proud to remember the person that you are now? Because we keep trying to chase our future selves, not knowing that our future selves are already made. Do you think that I'm not proud of who I was 10 years ago? I'm not proud of who I was damn near 5 years ago. I was really fucking up. And to know that I've made this miraculous change into who I am just because of certain things I had to cut off, certain people, certain actions, certain mind states. And my wife left me. She took my daughter.
And life threw you away.
Life made me feel like something that needed to be thrown away. And I kept trying to gain more control over the situation. But the more I went grabbing, the less control I actually had. So when I was left by myself, I reached the lowest point anybody can. But I made a brave choice, which was to live. I spent too much time in this meat reality. I'd like to see it through. And I know it seems like a lot of times I ramble, but it all has a shared theme. That is the progression of everybody around me, everybody that's watching, you know, congratulations. You found a friend. Somebody that lets you know that you're not completely alone in this situation. Hell, I'm musical, so you'll be able to hear a lot of my pain through some of my songs if I'm not being aggressive. But I'm just trying to give people a little bit more of guidelines, because I'm no guru. I'm just trying to share this information as I get it. And it's interesting to me because I've had this information my whole life. I just never really put it into practice. Because everybody else tries to tell you what's the right and wrong thing to do. Who is the right and wrong person to be? I've never really had a positive male role model in my life until, my stepdad came along. And by then I was practically fucking grown. I raised my little bros so they wouldn't grow up on the streets, but everybody has to make their own life choices depending on whatever age they feel like they're independent. Not knowing that we're all codependent. Because no man is an island. And it's fucked up because a lot of people feel like they are based off of their actions. I do this by myself. I did all of this. How, bruh? Did you make the computer that you are currently writing shit on or doing shit on? Did you make the cell phone in which you use for social media? No. Somebody with knowledge that is past yours on this specific subject had done this. It's crazy. Because these little things right here Without being David Blaine, this is our source of magic. We literally have every bit of knowledge at our fingertips. Yet, a good plus 80% of the internet is pornography. That's because information doesn't take up that much space. I don't grind. I walk casually through life. I could apply myself a little bit more. I could. Well, yeah, of course I am. I am applying myself a little bit more. What do you think these videos are, babe?
And everything else that's been happening in life.
Well, yeah, but you're seeing this as a constant buildup.
Yeah, I know. I've been here for 6 years.
So you've seen me at my lowest point, and then you're watching me. It's like right now where I'm at, with what just happened over the past week, days.
I know, right? Yeah.
But you've seen this from beginning
Mm-hmm.
to the drop
Yes.
to this current like instantaneous progression.
Yeah.
And I just ask you to just allow me to do my thing.
Of course.
Don't have me worry about all of this extra shit, because extra shit distracts you from the things that you really need to do and take care of.
I know everything's going to fall into place. I understand that.
But it's hard to take somebody's word for it. So you had to experience it with me. You see?
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because everybody feels like, man, I'm not going to ever make it to that. Everybody makes it to that low point. Everybody makes it to that point to where you have to ask yourself the serious questions. It might not be yesterday. It might not be 6 months before now. It might not be tomorrow. It might not be today. It might not be 6 months from now moving forward. But everybody has to make it to that point. Because if you don't, then you're going to progressively be around the same people, progressively doing the same shit that destroys you. And it's crazy to me because people bitch over the smallest things, not knowing that there is a greater picture. If you really think about it, we as people individually aren't even dots on a piece of paper. How many times have our story been written over? How many stories have we overwritten? And people don't realize this because they're so stuck in their personal lives. Like, oh, this shit's happening. Blah, 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 blah. And I have one bit of advice for you. If you take nothing from this, at least take this. Just because it's happening around you doesn't mean it's happening to you. Everybody has to pay for their sins and transgressions, whether it be up here or in the physical world. Once you learn to be pure in self, lead with no secrets and lies, and just no patience, everything works out in your favor.
Mm-hmm. And learn how to live in peace and serenity
and harmony.
Positivity too.
But that's the hardest thing to do when you have hundreds of thousands of negative people around you.
And positive, yeah, you're right. But positivity is another one, and then it's awesome. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, and sometimes you got to cut away negativity.
Of course.
And
not accept it. Just let it know you don't accept it.
Yes, but then you understand that life has a yin-yang balance.
It does.
And once you figure out how to be in the center of this balance, that's when you create master of life awareness within self.
Yeah. That's whenever those weird, like you said, those weird things, they come up out of nowhere. You deal with it fluently, and it comes and it goes because it will never stay.
Of course not, because I'm trying to be like, what are problems? They never stay. Issues, they go away.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it's mind-boggling because I'm the only person that I know like this. I'm the only person that I know like this right now. That's not my old man, but he's a bit insane.
You wonder where you get it from, huh?
Yeah, I completely understand, but my old man, he's insane, but he's like the complete asshole version of me. And the reason why I am able to say that, because I had this conversation with him, it's like, I figured out a few things about life, and I kind of figured that he is my forethought. He lets me know information before I need it. And then I have the information retained for when I need it. But if you're always talking down upon elders and shit like that, why would they help you? And this is somebody that had to grow out of a situation where he was being raised by somebody being raised in a slave mentality. So that's generational breakage. But I didn't know my dad for the longest time. I didn't meet him until after I was 16. After he went to jail for a bit. Everything before then I don't remember because I do have repressed memories. So, back to what I was saying. Lack of action means that you are allowing your destiny to be in the hands of someone else. There's a few principles that I live by, and I'm going to let you guys know this now. One, if I have to lie to you, I will not deal with you in any way, shape, or form. Two, if I have to hold secrets, I will not deal with you in any way, shape, or form. I don't care what you do with everyone else. I will not deal with you if our relationship has to deal with secrets. And I'm not saying relationship as in together as in whatever way relationship you're thinking. I'm talking about on a friend level. On a, here, I will give you my advice type of level. Life is meant to be shared. That's what social media is for, I guess. Our experiences are meant to be shared. I guess that's what social media is for, I guess. Information is meant to be shared. Life in the grand scheme of things, we are all one. And it's crazy because everybody wants to be selfish, thinking that they're the only ones like them, and that is not the case. I just haven't met many people that are like me. And that's because a lot of people are more stuck in there. It's all about me. Let's get this money. Let's grind stage. And life is not supposed to be like that. Money is only worth what you're willing to do for it. I'm willing to allow money to make itself. And it's just like drugs. Drugs sell themselves. You're just a middleman. Money makes itself. You're just a middleman. Get me? When you develop a massive life awareness, then you're able to consciously detach yourself from situations that have absolutely nothing to do with you, or that beyond a certain point, it's beyond your control. So what more can you do? Brush yourself off and move forward? Definitely. That's what we're supposed to do in the meanwhile. Because think about this. There's been hundreds of thousands of millions of life or death situations, yet you are still here. Why is that? If you don't think you serve a better purpose, why isn't a stray bullet coming and taking your life? Why isn't comets falling from the sky and destroying you? Why isn't your house on fire? Why don't wild animals from the fucking woods just come and devour you? Why don't you die of a heart attack, cardiac arrest, brain aneurysm, some weird shit like that? But yet you're still here. Yet you have the chance to listen to words that are only meant to better you. From somebody that is trying to better them, actually, fuck that. Words from somebody that is bettering themselves. I love you all. Because we are all one. Because I love myself. And I ain't for nothing to bullshit. I've had my fair shares of conflict. But I buried all my enemies. And that was the source of my enemies. But I enjoyed the journey. And it's just time for me to move up. And that's what's been going on the past couple of days. So soon, I'll have videos of me in the studio, my studio. You'll see my little workstations and how I do my work. Everybody wonders why it takes me so long to put music out. And that's because I do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tracks in between time. And I just kind of consistently listen to them over and over and over again until I get tired of them and want to share them. Because I have a high standard for myself. And it's crazy because I'm my worst critic. I'm exceptionally hard on myself because if I don't have a high standard for myself, then that means I'm going to be putting bullshit out. And if I put bullshit out, I can't look back and be proud of that. Like this past project I did with one of these artists, I freestyled a lot of it, but I'm proud of it. I really am. I'm not a freestyle artist. I like writing. But the bars that I did spit while freestyling was actually pretty dope put together. The beats I made were right there on the fly. The whole album just came together pretty dope. The skits I made from scratch, which were pretty dope. And that's something I can look back on and be proud of. Have you done throughout the majority of your life things that you can be proud of and look back upon? Do you think that your future self can look back upon you today and be proud of you? Because think about this. If you really want to think about it in this type of sense, would you be proud of your children if they've done the same shit that you have done? All the ups and downs. Because a lot of parents forget that they were once teenagers. A lot of parents forget that they were once children. Trying to learn and build themselves. Learn to walk. Learn to ride a bike. Crash a few cars to learn to drive. Ride a horse. Drive a boat. Go fishing. All of this shit. Learn to build a fire from scratch, which I know how to do. Just in case shit gets real. Learn how to grow your own food. Everybody starts from someplace. Everybody starts off sucking at something. That's the first steps of being sort of good at it. And we are all, even though we're all one, individually, we are the masters of our own reality. We pray to God because He is the person that kind of leads the way for us. But the reason why I say kind is because think about it. We are human beings. We have free will. We can choose to fuck up if we want to. And that's the thing. Everybody abuses that choice and expecting nothing bad to happen to them. And it's interesting because once those bad things do happen, they're like, damn, how the fuck did I get here? Let me try to change shit around. And then the more they try to gain control, shit just keeps going downhill. And it's funny because the things that go downhill might not just be personal to them. It could be like, okay, let me try to gain control. Then a family member starts getting sick. Damn, let me start focusing on this. And then something else happens. They lose a job. Oh shit, now it's time to grind. And then they end up street hustling and then they get into a really fucked up situation. Right? And it's like, okay, where do you go from there? You keep trying to do all this negative shit to get on top. You might be on top for a little bit, But trust me, life has balance. Life has balance. And it can take shit away that it gave you. Another little bit of advice: treat life as if it was your significant other. And the only reason why I say that is because life talks to us all the fucking time. You just have to choose to listen. And how could you choose to listen if you're always distracted with dumb shit? How would your significant other feel if you're distracted while she's trying or he's trying to talk? If they are trying to talk to you. How would you feel if you were trying to talk to them and they are distracted with bullshit? You would get mad, right? Life does the same fucking thing. It's up to you to choose. It's up to you to listen. Life makes things easy. We, as people, make things hard. Because we want things. Because we have to have these certain things. Life gives it to us sometimes. But a lot of times not. Because we don't deserve it. So we do whatever we can to attain the things that we want. And that's necessarily not a good thing. I've been promoted. That's what happened the past couple of days, just in case you guys are wondering. But this was in the making for a little bit. I'm in a completely new state. And I cut myself off from a lot of different things because I needed to in order to grow. Because if you don't go through the dirt, how's the seed going to grow? Unless you're talking about hydroponics, and that's a completely different thing. But this promotion came, I saw it coming because I wanted to follow something all the way through to the end. And that was one single act of loyalty. And within that single act, and taking my L's as they came, because I wanted the bigger W. That's what happened. I have to say that I love all of you. And I appreciate you guys taking the time out to listen. I love you, my queen.
I love you too, babe, very much.
Thank you for pushing me to do all of this stuff.
It wasn't always me, babe.
Well, of course not.
It was life at one point when I did leave, and like you said, you went through what you went through, and we are where we are now, and it's great. One thing I did know, and I was always sure about, is that I always wanted you. Always wanted to be with you.
Yeah. At a certain point in time, I didn't want to be with myself. But that's because I wasn't proud of who I was. And even though I still did my music shit, it wasn't going the places that I wanted it to go. I mean, after that whole bullshit that happened where I was, at that one studio, I couldn't deal. I could not deal because, well, that's things that happen around you, not to you.
Right. We are where we are now.
We are where we are now. And
we're good. We're good, and our family is going to be good. All three of our kids. And I say three because...
my son, I know, babe.
Yeah. Even though he's not my biological son, but I still consider him to be my son as well. So we have 3 kids, and they're going to be taken care of.
God, it's already hot this early in the morning.
They're going to be just fine.
Yeah.
So.
And the reason why that is like my last video, there's no chance that well, I should say all of my children. There's no chance that my children have no chance. And the reason why that is, I'm going to instill something in my daughters that I have with me, um, that I want to instill in my son, but that's an iffy situation. And that is, you don't have to work for somebody to make a living. You can work for yourself. And the crazy thing is, everybody else is like, man, let me get this job right quick. Let me be happy with this, whatever minimum wage is, and then I'll just work my way up. That never happens, bro. It never happens the way you think. Because you're sacrificing time for money. And time is the only, well, time, as in memory time, as in your body physically doing something for extended moments, time. That's the only currency that we have. Because think about it. How can you get that back? Right? You spend it. How can you get it back? You spend 9 years in a fucked up relationship. How can you get that 9 years back? You can't. You just have to walk away from it, right? Why would you want to spend 40 years at a job that in the end doesn't really care for you, doesn't really provide the type of lifestyle in which you are actually deserving of? Like I said, money makes money. You're just a middleman. And I'm going to teach my children how not to be middlemen. Pave a better way. And that starts with us today.